So Mario Kart 9 finally got revealed, or as I should say, Mario Kart World, because this game has completely thrown out the number system. The upcoming installment in the beloved racing series introduces several exciting features and an expansive character roster. Here's a comprehensive overview. 24-player races. Experience high-octane competition with up to 24 players in a single race, significantly expanding the multiplayer experience. So what are my thoughts to Nintendo adding 24 different racers to a single match? I gotta say, it sounds like a good idea on paper, but what I'm very concerned about is with the level of item balance in older Mario Kart games. I think having 12 racers already was kind of extreme. I think back when Nintendo changed it from 8 drivers to 12 drivers, this was really a mistake. And doubling the driver count on the races just seems like very chaotic to me. I'm not exactly sure how this is gonna go, but I hope the item balance this time around is enough to ease my concerns about this. And departing from traditional circuit races, the game offers a Forza Horizon style open world, allowing players to fully explore diverse environments freely. So in Forza Horizon, the game features a large, seamless open map. You can drive anywhere, on roads, through forests, deserts, mountains, beaches, etc. And there's no loading screens between areas. The world is filled with races, challenges, stunts, speed traps, drift zones, and more. I hope that this is how Nintendo seems to handle this open world concept, because from a glance it does seem very similar to Forza, but what I think Nintendo really should hammer in on is the challenges aspect of the open world, because in some kind of open world Mario Kart game, I actually want there to be things to do. I want there to be missions, I want there to be boss fights, I want there to be places that I can go and buy stuff, get collectibles. If there's not anything like that in a Mario Kart open world game, I'm gonna be very disappointed, as I'm sure a lot of people are going to end up being. And during this presentation, Nintendo really didn't reveal anything mission mode wise or any actual activity that you're gonna be able to do in the open world. So in my mind, for this open world to actually work, you're going to need a lot of things for me to do. And speaking of a lot of different things, we have over 45 unique characters in this game, with many featuring unlockable costumes totaling more than 80 different playable options. Confirmed characters include Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Rosalina, Pauline, Yoshi, Birdo, Toad, Toadette, Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Baby Peach, Baby Daisy, Baby Rosalina, Bowser, Bowser Jr., Goomba, Koopa Troopa, Dry Bones, Piranha Plant, Hammer Brother, Chargin' Chuck, Monty Mole, Pokey, Parabitty Spike, Shy Guy, Wiggler, King Boo, Peepa, and Donkey Kong. Notably, the game introduces unconventional racers such as the cow from Moo Moo Meadows and a dolphin from Super Mario World, adding a bit of a whimsical touch to the roster. Another example of which being the crab, and many characters have unique costumes, enhancing personalization for your game, including but not limited to Peach in a yukata, Daisy wearing swimwear, Bowser in the all-terrain outfit, Yoshi wearing the food slinger outfit, Toad wearing the burger bud outfit, Pauline wearing the arrow outfit, Waluigi wearing a mariachi outfit, and Wario wearing a biker outfit. So what do I think about the roster? I think it's great that the roster isn't halfway taken up by the Koopa Kids or Metal Mario. Of course, we have the meme of Pink Gold Peach, who's also nowhere to be seen in this trailer. I find the roster really good. There is a lot of filler here with the baby characters, but I think they kept the baby characters in because, you know, a lot of younger players are actually going to be playing this game. Plus, it really does fill out the lightweight roster, and the baby characters seem to have a lot of history behind them now. I still am very disappointed that they didn't bring back Link or the Inklings, Isabelle, Villager, any of the guest characters from Mario Kart 8. I would have loved to see a return. However, the idea that this game was going to be the Super Smash Brothers of Mario Kart was admittedly very ridiculous. I'm glad that Nintendo is going in a different direction with with the roster this time around, focusing on characters from the Super Mario Bros. Series instead of bringing in other first-party Nintendo franchises. Knockout Tour Mode is a new Battle Royale-inspired mode where players are eliminated at checkpoints until only 4 players remain, emphasizing strategic weapon use and survival. So the way this works is the last 4 players are knocked out of the game. So in the next race, you have 4 less drivers, until you end up on the final round, where you only have 4 drivers going against each other. This seems to be Nintendo's replacement for the traditional Grand Prix mode, and honestly, I think this is a very good idea. I mean, if you really think about it, Grand Prix was just 4 races in a row, so adding a new mechanic to the traditional Grand Prix setup, it kind of works for me. In this game, I think the more shakeups they do, the better. So as a longtime Mario Kart fan, I was a bit shocked not to hear anything about a battle mode in this game. I'm sure that there probably is a battle mode in this game, but the fact that Nintendo hasn't already mentioned battle mode is making me a little bit concerned. Since if you're a longtime Nintendo fan like me, you're going to know that back on the Wii U version of Mario Kart 8, the battle mode was pretty much an afterthought in that game. So if Nintendo didn't really see that much importance on battle mode back then, I can only imagine what the battle mode in this game could end up being like. And yes, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe ended up fixing the battle mode, but to me that battle mode also felt extremely underwhelming. Yes, you did have a couple new modes, but the course selection in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe battle mode leaves a lot to be desired. So here's hoping that the battle mode in Mario Kart World is actually really good this time around, and I hope to God that you're able to switch Balloon Battle back to how it was on older Mario Kart games. So Mario Kart World is confirmed to have a dynamic track system, weather and time of day effects. Races are influenced by changing weather conditions and varying times of day, impacting track surfaces and visibility. For instance, rain can make tracks more slippery, while nighttime racing may reduce visibility. Interactive environments. Tracks feature dynamic hazards, such as moving obstacles and destructible elements, requiring players to adapt their strategies in real time. This is one of those things that I really wanted to see out of this game, even before we had it revealed. We've seen this topic come up with the discussion about Sunset Wilds, not being able to have the sunset actually dynamically change. It seems like Nintendo is finally rectifying this issue by making weather and time of day effects actually a part of the engine. But vehicle customization is another topic entirely. The game offers a wide array of vehicles, including unconventional designs like snowmobiles, each tailored to specific terrains and racing conditions. Unlike the previous titles that allowed mixing and matching of parts, vehicles now come as fully formed units with unique attributes, promoting distinct driving experiences. So what do I think about Nintendo getting rid of some of the customization in this new game? I think it's alright. Yes, you could say kart customization was neat, and it allowed you to be able to make all of these different combos that were unique, but it's something to say how a feature works in your head and how the feature actually ends up in practice. Because in Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 7, nobody actually cared about kart customization. It was really one of those things like, okay, you have roller wheels, and then you have Azure roller wheels. These customizations were really just cosmetic at the end of the day. You can only change different types of wheels so much, or different gliders. Like, the gliders already had barely any difference between each other in Mario Kart 8, so I'm just glad that they're focusing on making unique vehicles rather than having a single character vehicle combo that completely overtakes the meta. And last but not least, I just want to go over all of the different tracks that we know of so far, and starting off in the Mushroom Cup, of course we have a brand new Mario Bros. Circuit. Then we move on to Crown City, which is an urban metropolis-like course featuring high-rise buildings and tight corners. Then we have Whistle Stop Summit. which is a mountainous track with train tracks and scenic vistas. And then, of course, we have DK Spaceport, which is a futuristic course set in a space station associated with Donkey Kong. These courses take familiar ideas, but they seem to add a lot to them. Like, we've seen Mario Bros. Circuit before, but we've never seen a Mario Bros. Circuit really change with the times. In this one, instead of just being another Mario-themed racing course, this one has a more urban-themed environment, which is really, really cool. And then with courses like Whistle Stop Summit, you've seen Mario Kart tracks with a train before. So now they're completely switching it up and making the train tracks go around a giant mountain, which is also something that we've seen before. You got DK Mountain, DK Pass, and even if you're able to go inside of the mountain, you could even compare this track to something like Wario's Gold Mine. So a lot of these new tracks, they seem like really familiar ideas mixed and matched with each other, which I really personally enjoy. And even the tracks that they brought back in this game, you really can't consider them retro tracks. For example, in the Flower Cup, you have Shy Guy Bazaar, Wario Stadium, Airship Fortress, and Desert Hills. So this Flower Cup is very interesting here. You have all four of these tracks that we've seen before in older Mario Kart games. However, Shy Guy Bazaar looks completely different. They've introduced grind rails. They've introduced elephants that walk around across the track. All of these different dynamic changes that end up completely overhauling the track. All of these different choices that completely end up overhauling the entire track. And in the Star Cup, we have DK Pass, we have Starview Peak, Sky High Sundae, and Wario Shipyard. Now, Wario Shipyard, I am very excited about. I think the fact that they're focusing more on tracks that we've not seen in the last game is a really good idea. Went and brought back tracks that we already saw in the Booster Course Pass. A lot of people would really write this game off. And to be fair, I don't think Nintendo is helping themselves by bringing back Sky High Sundae, but I guess that's a discussion for another day. In the Shell Cup, we have Koopa Troopa Beach making a return for Mario Kart 64. Absolutely amazing track. I love Koopa Troopa Beach, and I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with this one. Next up, we have Faraway Oasis, which is an Oasis-themed course with a lush greenery amidst a desert. And then we have Crown City, which appears again in this cup, possibly with a variation. I'm not sure how that's gonna work. I don't like the idea of one course showing up in multiple different cups, but we're gonna have to keep an eye on that because something like a city can have so many different areas or alternate versions that I do think it could possibly work. And then we've got Peach Stadium, which caps off the Shell Cup. And additional cups, such as the Banana Cup, Feather Cup, and Lightning Cup, have been mentioned, but specific tracks within these cups have not yet been detailed. This makes the overall cup count in this game 7 different cups, each having 4 different tracks. This adds up to a total of 28 different tracks in this game. So from a baseline, I think 28 tracks is pretty good. The problem I have is comparison being the thief of joy. When you have a game that's been going on for over a decade, like Mario Kart 8, having so much different content, it's hard not to compare the track count of Mario Kart World to something like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because at the end of the day, they're really so similar. But I think the content of this game is so wildly different in tone and vision that I really can't complain about Mario Kart World, except for the price. If you guys want to see my video going over all of the Nintendo Switch 2 controversy, I'll have my video linked right here. Are you guys excited about Mario Kart World? Make sure to subscribe because I'm going to be doing these videos daily now. See you guys later. Peace.